Hi guys, I'm here to give you a few tips on how to save a lot of money if you're willing to get down and dirty and do some work yourself. We are in the middle of a pandemic and I'm staying home a lot more, so I saw this as an opportunity to work on my online business and do what I can to update my home. Now I own a little co-op, so anything I do will make this place more valuable. I decided to update my closets. I'm painting my entire apartment and I'm updating my bathroom the best I can. And I'm here to share I'm here to share tips with you that I saved a lot of money and it's coming out great. And this is stuff you can do yourself. First, I'll start off with the closets. I have 4 closets that were updated when I first moved in. My dad put these shelves in, but the top of it, the closets were never fully painted, and they weren't painted properly because we are amateurs, and as you go along, you learn. But my neighbor friend, he's a super in another building. He's been working on his daughter's apartment. He told me to use semi-gloss in the closets. So here's a trick. I got off track. Semi-gloss in the closets. I took out the shelves. I labeled the little cups. This is for the bottom, just as an example with the hooks. And I don't need to be this brand, but I used these kind of wipes with the extra cleaning, in it. It's a active lift technology. You know, it makes it, you can get it off easier. And I clean these every spoke. I took the rag and I went like this. I put them in between and I super cleaned it. They look almost brand new. Save a lot of money. A shelf like this is pretty long. A half an hour, 30 minutes for each shelf. And it looks almost brand new. Keep things organized in little cups. I know this is for the bottom shelf. And when you put the shelf in and you lay it in like this, these are the clips that go on the back far wall, but not the sides. I left those on in the closet. Why? Because they're in solid wall. That would be very hard for me to take out and put back in. So what I did was I took this, cleaned them. They're the same color, the plastic, but you know, they're much larger to hold. That's the most secure part on both sides of the closet. And I taped it with tape and I painted around it. I finished one closet. It came out great. I bought a big jug of ceiling paint for $87 from Home Depot. I'm using it for the ceiling and I'm using it as primer. After I took the shelves out, vacuumed, used this brush on the bottom where the trim is, and there's carpeting in the closet. I scraped it as much as I could to get all the loose pieces off because the closet, it's dried out. It's been 22 years. And I did it twice, and I vacuumed it nice and tight. I primed it, and it ridded a lot of the bumps, made it look much more smooth. And then I painted the closet with semi-gloss because semi-gloss, it's easier to clean and it prevents scuffs from happening so fast. We didn't do that when I first moved in here, my dad and I. We didn't know any better. We used flat paint. We're like, okay, give it a couple of coats. That was it. And it was very scuffed up. So my neighbor friend, he's a super that they bought their apartment next to me. He's updating it for his daughter. He caught me in the nick of time. He said, after that, use that as primer, the ceiling paint that you bought, and go buy semi-gloss and give it the second coat, semi-gloss in your closets, Michelle, because it'll be easier to clean. It will last a lot longer, and it will prevent scuffs from being so noticeable. It'll take a lot more to scuff it, you know? I didn't know that. I'm not a professional, but he saved me a lot of time, and anything I'm doing now is producing quality work. And when you tape, I use tape on the bottom where the carpeting is. I put it down because I taped the trim. I painted the trim. When you pull up the tape, it gets all the dirt off the corners of the carpeting, and it looks brand new. My closet looks 90% better. And I'm not a professional. I did a great job, and I put these shelves back. It came out great. It was worth the struggle. And I have 3 more closets to go, and I'm getting there. So that's something you can save a lot of money, and it will last a long time if you use the right materials and do the best you can. Bathroom. Now, I'm updating my bathroom. I chose to do this during this pandemic with this time that we have and the money that we're receiving for assistance. I'm not working as much, so I saw this as an opportunity. The money that I'm not using to pay someone to paint, and probably I'm doing a great job because I'm taping everything. When you pull off the tape, it's nice, clean cut. It looks so much more professional. It's so worth prepping the walls, wiping them down, make sure there's no dust, get it all prepared, tape it, then start painting. I'm going to take that money and I'm having some electrical work done in my place. Got to do what you got to do. Bathroom. Scrubbed it out. Old grout that I had here. I had these materials in my home from the last time. This was hard. I mixed water with it, took a screwdriver, and I spared 10 minutes, and I just kept mixing it. It was like that much full, and it came out perfect. I just kept adding water till it turned into the texture, the consistency that I wanted, and I grouted my bathroom floor. And I did sections at a time, guys, okay? I have a medium bathroom. For a small apartment, it's a good-sized bathroom. And I did sections at a time, and I didn't do the whole floor at once. And then I took a big sponge, which I had, 2 brand new big sponges I never used over the years, and I just wiped it off and brought it back to life. It looks great, fresh, clean, solid. And it helps keep the floor solid, the tile. It's an old tile, but it's in great condition. Then around the toilet, I did the same thing, grouting, but I pulled out all the silicone because it was getting kind of discolored. It was kind of brown and dried out. No, it's been a handful of years. Here's a great trick. I had this in my closet, and I had it tipped with the plastic and the rubber band. It's kind of solid. You know, I got it out, got it all ready and prepped to put the silicone on. I cut off the tip. I took a stick or whatever I had, something like this. I have a bunch of these around. And I got in there, squeezed it, and it came out. So I didn't have to buy any more just to do that. Went around the toilet, nice, fresh, solid, new, looks good. And it's the right material to use for that because there's water, you know, they're always flushing the toilet. Here's the last thing, guys. I live in a co-op. I have a toilet bowl pipes like in school when you push the handle down. And they go into the wall, and the pipe goes into the wall like this. It's not like a tank. Like at my mom's house, there's a big tank. Around the pipe going into the wall, you tapped it, and it was falling down. It was dried out. It was old. So what I did was I put on a pair of rubber gloves. I took a screwdriver, and I used my hands, and I gutted it out, all the loose pieces, until it became solid again. And it was like 2 inches deep, like chunks of it came out. I said, it's been years. I don't think anybody's, you know what? I don't think anybody's ever done this since I've owned this place. I had this, again, I mixed a little water. I have 2 of these that'll just have a little bit in there, spackle. Mixed it up, came back to life, and I pushed it in there, and I took my little fan, have a little fan back there, and I pointed it at that hole, and every couple of hours I just kept adding spackle. It looks incredible. I haven't even painted it yet. It's all nice and smooth around the pipe. Nobody would have done that. You know, people do it quick, half-assed. Looks good enough, pay us. I did a quality. I kept sticking this in. I let the layer dry, stuck it in the next layer. 7 layers. And then yesterday, I just sanded it a little more, and I gave it one little thin. And then I just wiped it down with the sponge, with this scrubby. It came out great. It's so ready to be painted. It looks beautiful. There's so much you can do to save a lot of money. And one more thing, not just the floor with the grout. It's kind of dated, but I gave it a great cleaning, and I scrubbed it with the brush all around the sink area, whatever that's called. And I grouted where the white tiles are and the sink. It was all cracked and gutted, dried out, and I filled it in, and I gave it a few layers. I let it dry, I took a sponge and a couple hours later, I gave it another little coat and I spread it out. It looks tight, clean, fresh. I brought back to life some of my stuff. So I thought you would find this very interesting, helpful, money-saving tips. You can save a lot. Yes, this was very time-consuming doing every shelf, but there's nothing wrong with these shelves. One shelf, it's like it's a little beat up with the plastic, but all the rest of them's kind of long. All the rest of them, it's 3 shades lighter and it looks almost brand new. It was worth my time. It was worth my energy, and I used these. And I took it and I went like that, in between each spoke. It was worth it, guys. What else? That's it. I hope you find these tips helpful, useful, save a lot of money, get down and dirty. I'm putting my hair up. I'm putting on my old clothes. Oh, one more thing. T-shirts. I'm gutting out my home. Old T-shirts from years ago when I worked at the bars. I have a lot of small T-shirts, and T-shirts, they've been in my closet for 15 years. A pile like this. I'm cutting them up and I'm using them as rags. I'm gutting out my home. I'm increasing storage space, closet space, and I'm using up stuff that I already have. I think I got everything. I spent about $150 on tape and paint, and I'm doing the rest of the work myself. And all the other materials you see here that I just showed you, this, I had a bunch of paintbrushes, I have a bunch of these, I had silicone, and some other stuff over there. I had it already. I just brought them back to life, and I saved a lot of money. Okay, guys, see you soon. Get to work. Bye, guys.